The driving force behind Manchester's The Fall, whose latest single, Victoria, is a cover of the Kinks' classic and doing very nicely, thank you. But not so long ago, American-born Briggs had never even heard of The Fall until that fateful day when her friend played her one of their songs, and she hasn't been the same since.
I didn't know the names of anybody in the band. I didn't know what anyone looked like. Didn't know anything about them except this record. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks from that day, we saw in the paper that they were playing in Chicago. So we said, okay, we've got to go. You know, and the night of the concert, I got really sick. Well, actually, tell the truth, female trouble. And I didn't want to go out of the house. I was really fed up, and I was in a very crabby mood and everything. But I went anyway, you know. And the show was like 3/4 full, but it was brilliant because this band, they weren't pompous, you know what I mean? They weren't like wearing like designer clothes and have like rock star haircuts. They were just playing music, and it was really hard and intense and hypnotic. And I couldn't understand what the singer was saying because his accent was really heavy, you know, and I wasn't used to hearing a Manchester accent, I guess. But I just knew that I was just hypnotized by the whole thing. Then I decided, well, I'm going to go to a bar. So I went to this bar called the Smart Bar, and I was sitting there drinking by myself, and I jumped off the bar stool, and I smacked into Mark Smith. So he sat down, we started talking, and, you know, I don't know, it gets kind of personal. I mean, we were just sitting there talking, and he just said, out of the blue, can I kiss you? I know it's really cheeky, I know it's shocking, but, and I said, no way, I don't know you, you're a stranger, no way, you know, and he was like, all right then, and we kept on talking about music and stuff, and I was saying I was in a band, and blah, 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 and then he just reached over and grabbed me, and he started kissing me, and I just pulled back, and I said, you're a bastard. That's what I said to him. I was really shocked, and it was just sort of like my eyes began to spin around in my head and everything. Then we went to a party for the rest of the night, and that was it, and we were together ever since. I didn't look at him in a lustful way at all. That was about the last thing in my mind. I wasn't really attracted to him like that. It was just, you know, his mind. The word marriage came up the next day after that party. After 6 days, we were like, okay. It was like painful to be separated. And so he said, you know, get your stuff in order and move to Manchester. And I wanted to move there because his career was really, you know, not really thriving, but a lot more thriving than mine was. I remember in Europe, we wanted to get married so badly, and we wanted to have this, like, romantic wedding in some faraway place like Copenhagen or something like that. But we couldn't because we were never in a place long enough because you have to get a license and have to, like, be there, like, a week or something. So then we got back and we got married. Ferry Registry Office. Mark, well, he's just basically a really nice, gentle person. He's a gentleman. He's an English gentleman. Do you know what I mean? And he's just like the kind of man that opens doors for you, takes care of you. He treats me so well. And this is a really weird thing, but before I met Mark, I had 5 different boyfriends, all named Mark. But Mark is just the greatest guy I've ever met. That's why I married him.
What a story, eh?
It's worth marrying anybody if you can end up in Manchester, don't you think?
It certainly is, and I didn't realise that Briggs and Marky Smith of The Fall were so slushy.